There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Kano, did you shoot him in the head or not? A gunshot rang out from Tateno's gun, but it was a wild shot fired reflexively as the weapon flew out of his hand. A figurehead leapt from behind the water storage tank, kicking him in the arm that held the gun. Is it Kanan? Then, moving almost too fast for the eye to track, the newcomer delivered an elbow strike to Tateno's jaw. Kano didn't even have a chance to fire his gun. Before he could react, Maria's kidnapper was already laid out on the ground. Without so much as looking back, the girl bolted down the stairs. "Maria!" Kano shouted. He started to chase after her, but a bright glimmer in the corner of his eye stopped him in his tracks. The strange assailant had drawn a knife and was preparing to slit the unconscious Tateno's throat. Yeah, that's Kanan. Kano quickly brought his gun back to bear. "Stop right there!" The knife stopped mere millimeters from Tateno's neck. Kano was sure that if he hadn't intervened, the detective's throat would have been slit already. The knife wielder pulled back the hood that had been concealing her face. I know you," Kano said, shocked to see that he recognized the attacker. It was the girl who'd been knocked down by the minivan explosion. "I'm glad she's not dead either." "Why stop me?" she asked, her tone ice cold. "Weren't you just about to shoot him yourself?" "I don't have a reason to shoot him anymore. Not now that you've helped Maria escape. Please put the knife away." "Very well. Looks like he's not waking up for a while anyway." The girl withdrew the knife and rose to her feet. "Why did you come to Maria's rescue?" "Because she's my friend," the girl said simply. "She's been infected with a virus," Kano said. "We have to get her to help as soon as possible." He headed for the stairs that Maria had scampered down. "Not so fast, don't move." The girl's sharp tone made Kano stop. "What for?" he demanded. "I thought you wanted to help." "I do want to help her, which is why I'm not letting the police get their hands on her." The girl's voice was quiet but hard as steel. "The police are afraid of the Uwa virus spreading, which is why they'll certainly place Maria under quarantine. If that happens, there won't be any way to save her." "Just who in the world are you?" "Before I answer that, let's make a deal." Kano waited, non-committal. "I have information relevant to this case," the girl continued. "I want to make an exchange." Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. "We're getting a lot of lumps in our throats, aren't we? In exchange for what?" "Tell me where Hitomi Osawa is. Deal or no deal?" "There's the banker." Hitomi Osawa? Stanley had taken Hitomi into custody. Kano could probably get in touch and ask him where she was, but why do you want to know where Hitomi is? "Do we have a deal or not?" The girl looked like she was in no mood to argue. Still, if she knew about the Uwa virus, she was probably telling the truth about having information. But it was a violation of police policy to leak information on any investigation to a third party. Besides, was it wise to trust this young woman without knowing who she was? Kano weighed his options for a moment before replying. "I need to know who you are." "My name is Kanan." "Kanan?" Oh, right, she's massacred all those people." Kano thought back to the grisly scene at the Foreign Syndicate's hideout. Did she do that? Kano was almost afraid to wonder. As if sensing his unease, Kanan spoke up, her voice low and calm. "Once you hear what I have to say, I think you'll be more inclined to tell me where Hitomi is." There's still a lingering trace of adolescence in the strange girl's face. It was hard to believe someone so young could be a covert Middle Eastern operative, and yet Kano had seen how quickly she'd been able to render Tateno unconscious. "All right then, guess I'll go first," Kanan began. "There's someone out there trying to get their hands on the antiviral drug. My objective is to eliminate this person and put a stop to their plan." Kano felt neither surprise nor horror at her use of the term eliminate. After all that happened today, he realized his sensibilities had gone numb. "This person you're after, you're talking about an arms dealer named Alfred, aren't you?" "No, I just realized that Yanagashita did not show up at all in the last hour. I know the game is getting serious, but he's been in every other part of the game. How is he going to factor into the finale here? There's no way that he's not going to show up again. 100%. And no, he's not going to turn out to be Alfred, because that would be weird. Kanan nodded. What? No! Misei! Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I got...
It was copyrighted.
I have a rated video. Hi! Burp bullet. Weren't you... What were you streaming? You're coming in at crazy times. You're playing, yeah, the Ship of Fools thing? How did that go? Sponsored by Raid Chat Legends. Man. Okay, we'll let this play and then we'll talk. Welcome to literally the finale of the game. Yeah, man. Whoa, me. I haven't updated this in years. I really need to. Every time I look at it, it makes me laugh, but I really need to upgrade it. Team Riptide, thank you for the follow. Realize this is spoilers for me. I'm sorry, Misei, thank you for the raid. I'm sorry about your face over there. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we're playing a game called 428 Shibuya Scramble, which is a Spike Chunsoft visual novel. First of all, thank you for the raid. I hope your stream went well. Thank you everyone who showed up here. I hope you're all doing well as well. So this is a game called 428 Shibuya Scramble. We're in the final... It's a game that takes place between 5 different perspectives, and over the course of 8 hours? Question mark? Like each period of time is like an hour in the game. You go between each person. It's really crazy. We're in the final hour of the game. There's a biological terror threat, a kidnapping with some crazy backstory and consequences. We're talking to a assassin right now. Alpha Rad, as you can see, is in this apparently, and everything is connected and it's going crazy. I was originally supposed to stop streaming an hour ago, but I decided that we have to finish. We have to finish this game today, or I'm going to be screaming for the next few days. It's, essentially a typical finale for a Spike Chunsoft visual novel. Meaning everything is going crazy. But yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled on this game, I'm perfectly fine if people want to duck out, but it's a wild time. It's a wild time. But anyway, we just stopped one of the principal characters in the game from getting killed, so that was good. And now we're trying to figure out this character Kanan's backstory, or our character over here on the screen here, Detective Kano, is trying to figure out what Kanan wants. It's 10 out of 10. Yeah, this game has been absolutely crazy. Yeah, at one point, the most drama this game had was how a girl couldn't get out of a catsuit. I miss those days. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for stopping by here. This person you're after, you're talking about the arms dealer named Alfred, aren't you? Kanan nodded. The UA virus had been weaponized and tested several times on the battlefield to great effect, she said. The antiviral would soon render the weapon wholly ineffective. Oh yeah, and there's mystery pocket bananas. This man has drawn out at least 4 bunches of bananas from his suit pants pockets over the course of the game, and I don't know how. Evil monkey. Countries the world over are dying to get their hands on it. Then why did Alfred orchestrate this kidnapping? If the goal is to get the antiviral, why not just steal it from the laboratory? Also, we're talking about a pandemic. I know that's crazy, right? You know, we don't know anything about that. A potential pandemic. There was a lot about this kidnapping case that still didn't add up. Kano was sure Alfred's plan was hidden in those baffling details. Lab security at Okoshi Pharmaceuticals is practically perfect. This place is under surveillance 24 hours a day, and getting to where the antiviral is stored requires bypassing 3 sophisticated electronic locks. So yeah, so it turns out that the kidnapping of the daughter of the guy who created this UA virus, which has like 100% mortality rate. So kidnapping his daughter was so that because they had infected her and they wanted him to break into his lab and get the vaccine that he had just created so that they could sell it. So it seems like there's one element of international corporate espionage, but also this Alfred guy who is a terrorist that's just terrorism for fun. So he just likes watching things burn. But also the CIA is involved. A newspaper editor, freelance writer. There's just a lot going on. Unexpectedly, a sly grin appeared on Kanan's face. If you were Alfred, how would you steal it? She asked. Huh? Kana was taken aback by the sudden question. He thought good and hard about how to answer. There must be some way to get those locks open. Osawa head up the lab. Wouldn't be wow, we have, I think this is the first time it's given us 4 options. The coup makers, that's right. Couldn't sneak something out, maybe you could sneak something in. Wouldn't you want to steal it? Just wait until the drug hits pharmacy shelves. No. Yeah, so the obvious answer is that Osawa, the dad, heads up the lab. Wouldn't he be able to get it out? No. Accessing the storage facility requires the authentication of both Kenji Osawa and Mamoru Tanaka. It's impossible even for one of them to gain entry alone. The correct answer was that there were no correct answers there. Stanley had mentioned the same thing. The lab security also performs a thorough body search at the building's exit. This ensures the employees can't sneak materials out on their way home from work. That level of security was perhaps understandable. Kano tried to think of other ways to gain access to the drug, but none came to him. 6 days ago, Alfred injected Hitomi Osawa with the UA virus. What? Yeah. The tale had taken a sudden, very unexpected turn. So it wasn't only Maria who had been infected, but Hitomi as well? 6 days ago at that. So Maria and Hitomi are twins. Also, Hitomi has a rare blood type, which called Bombay, which is also the same blood type as the sister of another one of the principal characters in this game, Achi Endo, whose father tried to orchestrate Hitomi's murder so that they could take her heart and transplant it into his daughter Suzune, who has the same blood type, the rare blood type, because she has a failing heart. So that's been a whole subplot that we, I think, just wrapped up with Detective Tateno lying on the floor unconscious over here, Kanan having saved Maria from being killed. And Hitomi's not blood. Maria has the blood type. No, Hitomi has the blood type. You know, where he had Maria to try to get Hitomi over here. So he was trying to do this in the middle of the whole kidnapping that went wrong. People have blown up. There's so much going on. Hold on, Hitomi Osawa was perfectly healthy earlier today. So that must mean... Exactly. Kenji Osawa administered the antiviral to her. An unsettling thought occurred to Kano. It was supposedly impossible for Osawa to access the antiviral all by himself. But if he'd been able to give to his daughter all the same, then that had to mean he needed Mamoru Tanaka's help to do it, of course, Kanan said. Hitomi has a blood type, which is why Alfred bribed Tanaka ahead of time. So that's what happened. Tanaka, who is Osawa's lab assistant, and is now a charred corpse, had been paid off to inject Hitomi with the virus. Getting Osawa to take action at that point wouldn't have been difficult. But why go to such lengths to get the antiviral administered to Hitomi? Why would Alfred have Hitomi infected with the virus only to have her father cure it? It's been roughly a week since she was given the antiviral. The DDS is still in her body. The what? Essentially, Taking blood from Hitomi Osawa now would allow someone to extract minuscule amounts of the antiviral. So she still has the vaccine in her, and they could extract it from her blood in order to recreate the antivirus, so they don't have to go into lab anymore. Kana was stunned. Suddenly, all these seemingly unrelated threads were beginning to form a pattern. So since getting the antiviral itself out of the lab wasn't an option, Alfred must have thought of using a human vessel, he murmured. Don't say vessel. Meaning the thing that Alfred's really after is... Kanan nodded. Yes, Hitomi's blood, she finished. Alfred specifically requested that Hitomi make the ransom handoff, Kanan said. Additionally, the crime syndicate was hired to carry out a relay with the attaché case containing the ransom money. This would disrupt the investigation, distract the police, allowing the kidnappers to target Hitomi in secret. Wait, no, hold on. There was something about the story that still made no sense to Kano. Tell me this, he said to Kanan. Yeah, I mean, the real question is why not kidnap Hitomi in the first place? And the answer is she was supposed to be kidnapped in the first place. Why not just kidnap Hitomi in the first place? That was the key question right there. Why kidnap Maria instead? If Alfred wanted Hitomi's blood, abducting her, not the sister, was the obvious move. The girls had gotten themselves mixed up, hadn't they? Maria with Hitomi, Hitomi with Maria. If that were the case, then the syndicate's plan actually had been to abduct Hitomi. Yeah, Kana said excitedly. When you think about it, it all makes sense. Kanan gave him a look. No, it doesn't. Not that it isn't an interesting idea. What? So much for that. Oh well. I've met both Maria and Hitomi, Kanan said. They look alike, but they're completely different. That was definitely Maria who was here just now. Oh, okay. So my thinking was that was Hitomi and not Maria. But no. The point is that they switched. She was supposed to get kidnapped. Last night back at the Osawa residence, when Hitomi had agreed to make the ransom handoff, her parents would have been with her. And they certainly wouldn't get Maria and Hitomi confused. It was hard to believe the girls had actually switched places, which meant the criminals had deliberately abducted Maria after all. It'd be like mixing up two completely different colors. Ah. Interesting. Did they want to kidnap Maria because they could re-administer the virus to her? They're that different. So it wasn't Alfred's mistake. It's my fault that Maria was kidnapped. Kanan looked away. I contacted her before all this started. I told her about the kidnapping plan, and I gave her a GPS beacon to give to her sister so I could track Hitomi's location after she was abducted. But my plan backfired. Maria switched places with Hitomi and let herself get taken by Alfred. What the hell? Why hadn't Maria taken this to the police? Or if she was so determined to protect her sister, why not just get her to leave town or something like that? There must have been some sort of accident, though. Kanan continued. The GPS was never turned on after the kidnapping, and I wasn't able to track Maria down. That's because she got amnesia, and then wound up getting into a mascot costume for a good chunk of the day. There was something that even Alfred hadn't counted on. Kanan cast a glance over to Tenno. This person right here, she said. So Tenno had disrupted Alfred's plan by going after Hitomi himself. Considering where it's all led, Kanan continued, Alfred must be panicking about now, but we can't let down our guard. Even now, I'm sure the mastermind is thinking of some way to fit what this man has done into the master plan. So it's a perfectly imperfect plan, is that what you're saying? Precisely. Kanan flashed Kano an approving grin. I heard that from Stanley, Kano said, the man who drove you to the hospital earlier. That case officer, huh? Case officer? So that was it. Stanley was CIA. The U.S. Embassy in Akasaka functions as the headquarters for the CIA's Japan branch, as the embassy building is not reliably secure. However, the agency carries out many of its activities in specially constructed embassy annex facilities, offered under the guise of cultural exchange organizations. There are reportedly over 100 CIA personnel active in Japan, but given the inherent secrecy involved, the exact number is not officially known. Now that Kano thought about it, it all made sense. Since Alfred is an arms dealer with worldwide connections, I don't know what nation might be trying to obtain the antiviral. Obviously, any country that has the viral weapon would want to prevent their enemies from obtaining it. It's no huge surprise that people are butting in trying to put a stop to Alfred's plan. tiny beeping sound caught Kano's attention. Kanan pulled a PDA from her breast pocket. Personal Digital Assistant refers to various types of small portable devices for information management, occasionally also referred to as a handheld PC. Pizza's ready! No, it's a BlackBerry. It's a Palm Pilot. Y'all remember Palm Pilots? Oh my god, it is. It's a pocket PC. This is totally just a Palm Pilot. These things. You know what sucked about Palm? Okay, we're getting on a tangent here. You know what sucked about the Palm Pilots, at least the older ones? If they lost power, then it killed the memory. Like, it just erased everything on it. So, like, you had to be very careful in how you changed the battery on it. I don't know how they thought that was a good idea, but anyway. Interesting, the GPS gift to Maria just had been powered on. Now I can find her location. Yeah, that was in the necklace she had. Where is she? She's on the move. But why is the GPS suddenly active now? Kanan frowned. At any rate, I've told you what I know. Now tell me where Hitomi is. Alright. Kanan got his phone and called Stanley. The American was quick to pick up. What's going on? Where's Hitomi? We're on our way to Endo Electronics in Dogenzaka. Endo Electronics? Why are you going there? Kanan was familiar with the dilapidated old storefront. He had passed by the place countless times. Too long of a story, there's a lot that happened, Stanley replied. How are things on your end? As bad as they could be, but I'm getting closer to the truth. Please make sure you keep Hitomi safe. Alfred is after her blood. Her blood? Kanan told Stanley what he heard from Kanan. I see. So that's what's going on. Once we're finished with the things in Dogenzaka, I'll bring Hitomi right back to the precinct. Also remember to stay hydrated. Where is she? Kanan asked as soon as Kano had hung up. She's on her way to an electronics store in Dogenzaka. I see. Kanan checked Maria's location on her PDA. First I need to get Maria, she said. I'll get to Hitomi after that. I'm going with you. Be my guest. With that, Kanan was off and running. You're just going to leave Teteno up here? Kano took one last glance at the unconscious Teteno, then hurried after Kanan as fast as he could. That's not a good idea. They ran from South Hill to Nanpei-dai towards Shibuya Station. As they darted and weaved madly through the narrow side streets, Kanan took an occasional glimpse at her PDA. It felt to Kano like they must be taking the shortest possible route to Maria's location. He stayed quiet, keeping paces. Kanan led the way. Before he knew it, they were heading up Dogenzaka. In not too long, they'd be at Endo Electronics. Hey! Kano called out to Kanan. What? She shouted back without turning. Are you sure this is the right area? Are you doubting the GPS? No, it's not that. Kano scanned the area. It's just that Endo Electronics is right up ahead. What? Kanan stopped abruptly. What are you suggesting? The twins are heading for the same location. That's my guess. Still, what did that actually mean? Kano hadn't figured that out yet. They took off running again. Before long, Endo Electronics came to view. Kanan stopped in front of the shop door. Right here, she said, glancing again at her GPS. I knew it, Kano thought. Endo Electronics, the same place Hitomi was headed. This isn't gonna end well. Guess we're all winding up together, Kanan said. Or else we've been brought together. She peered keenly at the building and its surroundings. Kano swallowed hard. We? You think you've been roped into this too? Quite possibly. Kanan flashed a winning smile, then started to head into the shop. Hold on, I need to report into HQ. Kano hurriedly called Kuze in his cell. Kano, what's going on? I've located Maria Osawa. Huh? What was that? Kuze's words came out as a surprised and childish yelp. Come on. Kanan's smile turned to a steely glare. Time is critical. He nodded silently back at her. Kano, what's the location? Kuze asked. Where are you? I can't say right now, sir. Please, just leave this to me. Hey, now just hold on. But Kano ignored the director's squawking and hung up. Man, music's getting crazy. Kanan had already entered the shop. She seemed wholly unconcerned by the idea that she might be playing right into Alfred's hands. Despite her youth, she clearly thought of herself as quite capable. Warily, he followed after her. After navigating a veritable cavern of junk, they came to a door that led to the living area beyond. Kanan quietly opened the door and immediately stepped inside. The home was divided into a dwelling area and a workroom. A man's voice could be overheard from the workroom, raised in anger. "Don't you want to save Suzune?" Kano and Kanan crept closer. Peering through the next doorway, they saw a tense confrontation in progress. Marie and Stanley were standing there. Uh-oh. Is it running? Is it running ads? Dang it, Twitch. Okay, I'm gonna pause just for a moment so that the ads, let's let the ads go. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Back now. My thing says 30 seconds. We'll give it 30 seconds for everyone's ads to end just in case. I hate that it does that. I hate so much that Twitch just rolls ads without your consent. Drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Marie and Stanley were standing there looking down at a middle-aged man who had restrained Hitomi with a stun gun and pressed her throat. "Dad, of course I want to help Suzune." The young man stepped into view, speaking to the older fellow. "But do you think this is what she'd want you to do?" Kana watched intently, tensing for action. There's so much at risk here. He was about to barge into the workroom when Kanan grabbed him by the shoulder. "Let's wait and see how this goes first," she whispered. He realized this was good advice. If they provoked the older man, things could very well take a sharp turn for the worse. They just have to hope the young man could talk him down. Okay, so the young man's gonna be Achi, but we're not up to there yet. We can't jump over there. And we're gonna have a keep out over here, right? Yes. Okay. Now, you may be saying to yourself, Dovey, this is a great time for you to go onto Achi's path and get to the keep out over there. And man, wouldn't it actually be funny if instead of continuing this and seeing where this is all going, I started Minorikawa's instead. Mino time! The TV news continues to report on how Mamoru Tanaka had been killed in the minivan explosion. So, Minorikawa thought that the person killed in the explosion was his boss, Toyama, but it turns out it was this guy, Tanaka. What does this mean? Chiaki blinked in confusion. Oh yeah, Chiaki Nanami is here also. I mean, Hana told her herself that the van explosion was her father committing suicide, didn't she? The only explanation I can think of, Minorikawa replied, is that Hana was lying. Hana lying about her deadbeat dad? He scratched his head as he considered the situation. But why? Chiaki said. Oz let out a snort. Well, it seemed Mr. Toyama had her lie in order to deceive us. What an upstanding individual using his own daughter to buy himself some time. Me time? I'm just lurking because of work. It's you, Mino. You are a star freelance reporter. Congratulations. Also, hello there. Minorikawa wanted to yell at the guy, but he managed to hold his tongue. You're the guy on the left there. The important thing was that Toyama was still alive. If he was still alive, then there's still a way to save Heaven Publishing. Oh man, you all missed it. Chiaki, the girl back there, just absolutely ate an entire piece of paper. It was amazing. She saved us from consigning ourselves to a life of debt by eating the contract. They got the current issue out on time with a big scoop waiting in the wings for the issue after that. From there on out, it should be smooth sailing, without any milk too. Well, no matter, Ozu said. Seeing as Mr. Toyama isn't dead after all, we'll just wait here for him. He sat back down on the sofa. But Sagawa leaned threateningly toward Chiaki. Hey, he snarled. You sure you don't know where the guy's hiding out? I don't, Chiaki shot back. Even if I did, I'd never tell you. Say what now? He leaned in even closer as she stood on her tiptoes in defiance. Their foreheads collided with a dull thud. Both reeled back, clutching their heads in their hands. Just calm down, Chiaki, Minorikawa said as he began rooting through Toyama's desk. For now, I'm gonna look for clues as to where Toyama might have gone. You just focus on working on your article. Oh, I was raising an eyebrow, getting all cooperative all of a sudden, I see. Hope stream's going great for you all. Get back to lurking work. Enjoy lurking. Lurking is 100% fine around here, especially visual novels. I hope work goes well as well. I want to change up the plan for the next month's issue, and I can't do that without the editor-in-chief's approval. What Minorikawa was actually looking for, however, was a back issue of 4-Star General Gossip. He was pretty sure the article on Osawa had been printed in the magazine's inaugural issue. How the heck did the gang people end up being our source of comic relief? I mean, they were more or less already our source of comic relief, but that's because they were tied with Toyama and they were tied with Yanagashita before. But now they're over here. The thugs that they send out to collect money are never like the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree, so, you know, you're gonna invariably get this. If he could find the scandalous piece that the scientist had asked for, he'd also be able to get his big lead about the power balance of the world being at stake. And if he could get that, not only would next month's issue be a sure thing, it was a good bet that sales figures would go through the roof. He found a file folder full of early material and quickly flipped through it. It didn't take him long to find the article. Floundering Okoshi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage of political convenience. The large headline practically jumped off the page. Minorikawa quickly read over the story. The basic gist of it was this. The corporate director of Okoshi Pharmaceutical had sacrificed his daughter in order to keep a researcher named Kenji Osawa on board. The daughter, however, had previously been dating another man. That must be what Osawa wanted him to look into, the guy his wife had been dating before they were married. It should be easy enough to just ask whoever had written the article. Minorikawa's gaze jumped to the end of the piece. I bet you it's Toyama, looking for the writing credit. The piece had been written by Toyama himself, of course, so now we're gonna have to find the guy who's faking his own death to escape his debtors. Hey, ain't you done yet? Sagawa yelled. Tell us where Toyama is already. Yeah, Minorikawa thought, we're gonna need to do something about these guys. Still looking into it, he said. Just hold on. He made a show of opening and closing various desk drawers. The drawers themselves were packed with a jumbled mess of electrical and gas bills, Noodle House delivery menus, and the like. Look faster, Sagawa growled. Better butter this guy up. Maybe you can mollify this guy by having some noodles delivered for dinner. Yeah, let's have noodles delivered. I'm hungry. I'm here for conquest. Lay down your riches and bow to your new god. Hello, John. How are you doing? We're getting ready for the end game of here. It's been crazy. It's been actually crazy. Maybe you could mollify this guy by having some noodles delivered for dinner. Hey, you guys hungry? I was thinking of ordering some soba. Man, this ain't no time for that, Sagawa snarled. Besides, we just had some soba anyhow, and it was awful. Don't talk to me about noodles. Sagawa launched into a shadowboxing session as if he were trying to punch out the provider of his disappointing soba. Yeah, you somehow managed to come into the most calm part of the past hour. Besides, I did a lot of yelling before. Besides, we had just some soba anyhow. No, I read that already, sorry. The guy clearly had zero capacity for sitting still. Minorikawa had found the back issue of the gossip he was looking for. He still needed Chiaki's article though, and she wasn't quite finished yet. He had to buy some more time. By the way, he said to Sagawa, are you familiar with SOS? SOS? Thug paused mid-jab. Yeah, SOS. I was planning on interviewing them later today. Hear they're some pretty tough guys. Huh. Only one of them would be able to give me a fight would probably be that. Only one of them would probably be able to give me a fight would probably be that Achi Endo. Except as I hear it, he's left the gang. Huh, really now? Heard anything else interesting? Sounds like nowadays they're being run by some guy named Suzumu. SOS, the opening theme from Idol Master Xenoglossia? That's exactly it. The name Suzumu rung a bell. Those two young punks had been arguing about after the van explosion had mentioned him. You know, the way that the text is overlaid on the blinds is making the text look like it's slanted. Y'all getting that? Is that just my eyes? Kind of making the text look like it's tiered upward. It's exactly as straight as it has been, and if you take a ruler or whatever, it's a perfectly straight line, but it's a really weird optical illusion. Anyway, these two young punks who had been arguing after a van explosion mentioned him. No, not autoplay. It seems like SOS is in a pretty rough state since Achi left, though, Sagawa added. Minorikawa didn't miss a beat. What do you mean rough state? Back in the day, they were all goody two-shoes, never shake folks down or steal or any of that stuff. Guess their founder Achi hated that sort of thing. But now that he's out, a lot of rough and tumble hot-blooded types have been signing up with them. Smart move is to not get involved with SOS nowadays, really. Hard to find a scary bunch around here when there's a lot of them together. And their main hangout, that's at Inferno, yeah? Yeah, over at Uro Harajuku. Known as Urahara for short, the area east of Japan Rail Harajuku Station, around where Takashita Dori meets Meiji Dori. There are many small clothing and accessory stores here set up in renovated houses. Most of these shops are on the cutting edge of youth fashion, offering quirky and unique means of personal expression. Man, you've been listening out on the streets, what gives? Or Harajuku, huh? Minorikawa smiled to himself. Inferno's location had practically fallen into his lap. Isn't that the place where all those people were slaughtered? I'm pretty sure. Suddenly Sagawa's eyes went wide. Aha! So that's where Toyama is. Wait, nah, no way Carol like him would go to a place like that. Chiaki looked up from her keyboard. Look, could you please shut up? No, you shut up! That's my phone. Minorikawa pulled his cell out of his pocket. Is it Toyama? It was Toyama's name on the incoming call screen. Minorikawa's heart skipped a beat. Toyama, where are you? He blurted as he picked up. Chiaki, Ozu, and Sagawa turned to look at him as one. Well, what were you thinking faking your death like that? Even if we could fill those pages of postpone repayment, all it would do is delay the inevitable. I'd still be up to my ears in debt. So I thought even if I could fill these pages of postpone repayment, all it would do is delay the inevitable. So I thought I'd still be up to my ears in debt, so I thought if I made it look like I was dead... Minorikawa let out an exasperated sigh. Well, everyone already knows you're still alive, so your little attempt at subterfuge didn't even wind up buying you time. What? Toyama's hysterical squeak was painful to hear. Alright, listen up, Minorikawa said. If it's the debt you're worried about, you'll be able to pay that back real soon. What do you mean? I've landed a huge scoop. You could do a print run of 1 million copies and still sell out if we can run it as an article. Toyama perked right up. Wait, you really mean it? I'll give you all the details. Just get your butt back here. But aren't those loan sharks there at the office right now? Fine, then I'll come to you. Tell me where you are. Two thugs crowded near, a predatory gleam in their eyes. Minorikawa had a flash of inspiration. Got it, he said quickly before Toyama could respond. Miyashita Park. I'm on my way now. Don't go anywhere. Ozu and Sagawa grinned at one another and bolted out the door. Hey, Minorikawa said as their footsteps receded. Those guys took the bait. I sent them to Miyashita Park. He let himself a cocksure grin. Right then. So where are you really, Toyama? Please, for the love of God, game, please do me the favor and have him actually be at Miyashita Park. Please. That's all I'm asking from you right now. You imbecile! Yay! I am at Miyashita Park! What? Minorikawa fought the urge to pull his hair out. What the hell are you doing someplace like that? Why the hell did you tell him Miyashita Park? I thought it would be a clever ruse. Well, it wasn't. This is no time to be fighting, Chiaki put it in. Yeah, you're right, Minorikawa scowled. Anyway, Toyama, those guys are headed your way. You need to get out of there and go someplace we can talk. I can meet you there. Right, okay. They need someplace safe and public where they could speak freely. Someplace where the staff wouldn't be overly nosy. But where? We're going back to the cafe, baby! The familiar cafe by the station was a natural choice. He quickly described the location. The fact that Minorikawa hasn't been banned from Café Le Trek is amazing. Got it, I'll see you there. He hung up and Minorikawa quickly gathered his belongings. Chiaki, how's that copy coming along? Well, almost done. Just a little more, I think. Alright, bring your computer and come with me. I'll read over what you got so far. Minorikawa waited as Chiaki got ready to head to the cafe. As the two were heading out of the office, however... Someone else opened the door. Is it going to be Osawa? You've got 14 minutes and 57 seconds left to send to press. The writer submits to the editor, the editor submits to the designer. This is naturally the next step in that whole handoff process. Naturally, being late for that causes quite a lot of trouble. 56, 55. Whomst? A slender man with a gaudy necktie entered the room and sat down on the nearest desk, staring fixedly at his pocket watch. We have never seen this man before. Minorikawa narrowed his eyes dubiously. Who the hell are you? Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead of the appointed time. That's just common decency. The man gave no indication he even heard Minorikawa's question. I suppose I can wait here, he continued. Just for another 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Mr. Mino? Is this guy talking about our submission? Chiaki stared doubtfully at the newcomer. Hey you, Minorikawa asked. Are you from the printer? But the man did not reply. Don't ignore me! Are you from the printer? Still the man remained silent. Minorikawa was furious. Look! Cut the crap! He roared. In response, the man quietly reached into his suit pocket and pulled out his business card. My name is not Hey You. He handed the card to Minorikawa. It read, Show Nippon Printing Company Limited, Sales Department, Division Number 1. Koichiro Katayama. I'm Koichiro Katayama, newly assigned to Heaven Publishing. A pleasure to meet you. My predecessor is in the hospital due to a car accident. What? Sachio Usui, 39 years old, single, longtime veteran at Show Nippon Printing. Rather timid by nature. First name, Hey You, last name, Pikachu. Strain of dealing with publishers makes him sick to his stomach. At around 1:10 earlier today, while driving to meet with one of his clients, he had to swerve to avoid a young man and a woman who darted across the street and crashed into the cars next to him. We did that! That was Achi and Hitomi. Oh no! We caused that car accident that stopped Kano and Stanley from showing up to Inferno and getting killed. But at what cost? Oh no! He should make a complete recovery in about 2 months. Oh no! This is our fault. Well, what are you doing here, Katayama? Minorikawa asked. I thought we had until 8 o'clock to complete proofreading. 8 o'clock? Surely you must be joking. Our company's proofreading deadline is 5:30. Katayama stared fixedly back at Minorikawa. Remember, kids, don't play visual novels and drive at the same time. Oh no, in a game that everything is connected, everything is connected! Now that had to be a joke. I heard from the editor-in-chief that it was 8 o'clock. I take that to mean then that you don't have any copy for us. It's not that we don't have it, Minorikawa said. It's just that it's not finished yet. Just hold on till 8. Katayama raised an eyebrow. No. Publisher and printer need to work in concert. Perhaps my predecessor was the sort to delay the proofing deadline owing to your circumstances here. But now I'm in charge and I do not make exceptions. The proofing deadline is 5:30 sharp, and I intend to keep it that way. And while we've been having this discussion, you're down to 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Katayama held out his pocket watch as if to emphasize the point. That's ridiculous! Minorikawa exclaimed. Just who the hell do you think you are? You guys are going to be printing a paper that I wrote. Do you even know how lucky that makes you? Just wait, okay? Just give us until 8. Give us 3 more days. Give us till we're done. Just give us till we're done. Until you're done? And when might that be, I wonder? Katayama's tone was dubious. I said till we're done, Minorikawa snapped, and I mean till we're done. Katayama thought for a moment and then nodded. Very well. Then I shall wait until you're done. Really? Katayama gave another slight nod. You've got 10 minutes and 46 seconds left. Hey! As soon as I leave here, that's when you'll be done, you see. Katayama's face was a mask of cool nonchalance. Objection! You son of a bitch! Don't get all high and mighty just because you work for a printer. High and mighty? I'd say it's the people on the publishing side of things that act high and mighty. Whatever high-minded claims you make, without us, you'd have nothing to put on the store shelves. Forgetting that and blithely ignoring your proofreading deadline makes for more work on our end. Just what are you getting at, I wonder? Now it's 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Minorikawa ground his teeth so hard he could hear it. His usual tactics were useless here. Katayama was simply too unflappable to be browbeaten. If he backed down now, though, it was game over. 10 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. I realize there's little point, but I'll wait until the designated time. That's just common decency. Katayama's pet phrase. Thus far, he has said, "That's just common decency" 3 times in this story. Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead the appointed time. I realize there's a little point, but I'll wait until the designated time. There was one more. Do you know when and where that was? No! I wasn't paying attention! When the heck did he... Don't do this to me, game! Don't make me pay attention to a game where you're really supposed to pay attention. Katayama's eyes were once again locked on his pocket watch. Now I'm gonna have to go through the VODs, all of them, to see if he showed up earlier and said it to somebody at some point. Katayama's eyes were once again locked on his pocket watch. It was no use. Minorikawa couldn't find a way to talk this guy around. Chiaki held her hand up. May I say something? Isn't it also common decency not to break a promise once it's been made? If you're referring to the 8 o'clock deadline, I was not the one who promised that. Maybe not, but I believe your professor's responsibilities become your responsibilities. Katayama crossed his arms and gave her a bemused look. What's your name, miss? Chiaki, she said bashfully. Chiaki Iso? The prince's expression brightened visibly. Good. That timid hesitation of yours is just splendid. You have none of the arrogance so typical among publishers. Huh? Chiaki was taken rather aback. In deference to your polite demeanor, I shall wait until 7 o'clock. That is the latest I can possibly allow. All right, Minorikawa shouted practically in Katayama's face. We agree to those terms. No, I wasn't talking to you. But we got terms of our own. Katayama reeled ever so slightly. I'm not certain you're in any position to set terms here. Just shut up and listen. From here on out, you're coming with us. Take that. You need the Von Karma objection. You know, that deep one. You know, Phoenix Wright sounds great, but you really need the Von Karma one to really get your point through when you're steamrolling somebody. What? Why? We're gonna finish up our copy on site, then burn the data onto CD and hand it to you there. That's why. Katayama let out a sigh of resignation. Oh, very well. I suppose I'd simply be waiting here anyway. Minorikawa pumped his fists in victory. Alright, Chiaki, go and copy the DTB data we got so far into your computer. Sure thing, Mr. Mino. Chiaki quickly set about copying the data from the editing department's desktop. Okay, done. Then let's go. With the others in tow, Minorikawa headed for the cafe where Toyama would be waiting. I really hope when we get there, the waitress is just like, oh god, please, no. They reached Café Lautrec without incident, and Minorikawa promptly spotted the publisher. Over here! Toyama hissed, eyeing his surroundings with obvious unease. Hana sat by his side, sullenly sipping on some juice. The waitress came over as Minorikawa joined them. May I take your order? She asked. Yay, it's her again. Water. Just water, sir? Fine, make it a double! Exasperated, the waitress headed back to the kitchen. This lady, the fact that she hasn't killed Minorikawa over the course of this day is just a testament to the infinite patience she has. Toyama looked over at Katayama. Who is this guy? I'm Koichiro Katayama from Shonippon Printing. Katayama presented his business card. Toyama turned to Minorikawa with a quizzical look. What's someone from the printer doing with you? I'll explain later. There's no time for that right now, Minorikawa replied. Oh, look at Chiaki's laptop. It is adorable. First, I need you to answer some questions. Does the name Kenji Osawa ring any bells? Osawa? Toyama closed his eyes and thought. He heads up a laboratory at Okoshi Pharmaceutical. You ran a piece on him in the first ever issue of 4-Star General Gossip. Toyama's face lit up with recognition. Ah, yes, the political marriage piece. Yeah, that one. Do you remember the details from the article? Of course. Who do you think I am? Does that laptop have a blouse? Yes, the laptop is blinged out to be cute with lace because it's Chiaki's laptop. There's some sort of sticker on it. I don't think that's Hello Kitty, but it looks something like it on the, by the mouse. You know, the bottom there. Toyama, who do you think I am? Toyama puffed himself up proudly. I used to be a local news copy editor for the Central Times. I've got the details for all the stuff I've ever covered here in my head. In that case, do you know who Kenji Osawa's wife was dating before they got married? Toyama blinked his eyes vacantly. Hey, what's the matter? Minorikawa asked. This is a pretty tough pop quiz you're giving me. Surprise, kids! It's time for the science quiz! What colorless, odorless gas, lighter than air, and used for consumer and municipal gas applications is also known as marsh gas or swamp gas? Is it helium, ethylene, propane, or methane? I believe that's methane. Tune in next time for the answer. I'm 90% sure it's methane. Cut the crap, man. You just said you have all the details inside your head. Oh, they're in there all right. They're just not coming out. Minorikawa slumped. Mr. Toyama, please. Whether or not you'll be able to pay off your debts depends on your memory here. Hearing this, Hana cast a cold glare up at her father. All right, I can remember, or at least I can try. Toyama folded his arms and hummed to himself, his gaze turned inward. So, I feel like it was a really common name. Sato! Sato, Chiaki chirped. Yamada! Was it either of those? They're pretty common names. But Toyama shook his head. Minorikawa offered a guess of his own. Suzuki, Takahashi, Endo, it's Tanaka. Tanaka! No, not that. It was something else. Just then the television inside the cafe switched over to the news report of the Shibuya explosion. The remains of the individual discovered within the minivan itself, who had since been identified as pharmaceutical company executive Mamoru Tanaka. Mamoru Tanaka? Toyama turned around to look at the TV. An image of the victim's face appeared on the screen. What? The publisher blurted, nearly falling out of his seat. That's it! It was him right there! Mamoru Tanaka! That's what I said! Tanaka! Toyama pointed excitedly at the TV screen. That's who Kenji Osawa's wife was dating before they got married, Mamoru Tanaka! Minorikawa felt himself gain goosebumps. The victim of the terrorist bombing in Shibuya was also linked to the researcher who is the key to the terrorist viral scare. I can't believe the things that connected in this game where things are connected. His reporter's hunch was now a certainty. Right now, Shibuya was at the center of some massive conspiracy. This went far beyond even a major scoop. Mr. Toyama, we need to make sure that next month's issue hits shelves. Minorikawa called up Kenji Osawa to let him know the results of his little investigation. The man didn't seem terribly surprised. Probably had his suspicions all along, so we can jump to Osawa over here and continue his thing, but I want to see where this is going, where this ends. Osawa told him that there was something he needed to do before he was ready to give details on the big scoop, but that he would call back later, and that's talking to his wife. In the meantime, Minorikawa knew he'd have his hands full getting the current issue of the Gossip wrapped up for the 7 o'clock deadline. He slapped his hands down on the table. Alright, emergency editing meeting, right here, he announced. We need to get a lead on the Shibuya terrorist bombing in the next issue. The article about the twins winning that beauty contest can be dropped for that. We'll use the info from Kenji Osawa as the basis for our big scoop on the issue after that. Mr. Toyama, any problems with that? No, that should be fine, but what about the remaining pages for next month's issue? Minorikawa opened the file on his computer. The layout built with the DTP came up on the monitor. The reporter on the Burning Hammer sales demo. There he is. There's Yanagashita. There's Cheery. There's the angry people that beat everybody up. It's great. The surveillance camera opinion piece. The interview with RI. Those three were finished. Those three were finished. The copy already incorporated into the layout. I thought the exclamation there was part of the thing, so I thought it said, those three were finished. The copy already! No, those three were finished. The copy already incorporated into the layout. Once Chiaki's street interview piece was loaded in, that one could be checked off as well. Chiaki, how's your copy coming along? I'm sorry, I just need a little longer. The writing seemed to still be giving her a fair bit of trouble. The article on SOS was still just a placeholder in the layout. And Minorikawa hadn't even gotten any material for that, putting it even further behind than Chiaki's street interviews. Still, he'd at least learned where Shibuya's legendary street gang made their hangouts. You just have to take the risk of dropping in on them unannounced to ambush them with some interview questions. That's not safe. And then there's the lead-in for Shibuya bombing. There wasn't even in the layout yet. It was a completely blank slate. I Against all odds, they're going to need to put that article together from nothing within just an hour and change. It was an impossible amount of work for just him and Chiaki to do. Well, and how are things coming along? Katayama rose and came closer, trying to peer at the monitor. Minorikawa hurried to cover the screen. Don't look! The printer reps all the blank pages. You might decide to stop waiting. Would you mind telling me roughly what percent of the total you have completed thus far? What percent? Come off it, man. We're at 100%. If you're 100% done, that implies you're all finished. Could I please have the data then? Seeing them work reminds me that maybe I should work. Work? How can you work when you need to figure out where this game ends? I'm saying our willpower's at 100%. I'm saying our willpower's at 100%. I'm not even gonna pretend I understand what you mean by that. Shaking his head, Katayama sat back down in his chair. Minorikawa, Toyama asked, his expression uneasy. Sorry, I know I asked before, but why is someone from the printer here again? Katayama promptly chimed in. The long and short of it is that your proofreading deadline has been changed to 7 o'clock, he said. What? But that's impossible. Who's doing the lead-in for the Shibuya bombing? Toyama eyed Minorikawa and then Chiaki both stared back non-committally. Then it really is impossible. We'll never meet the deadline. We don't have enough people. No, we do have enough. Minorikawa thrust out his finger. Mr. Toyama, you're going to write that one and handle the layout. What? Heaven Publishing is your company. Won't you step up in order to protect it? Toyama hung his head. Even if I headed to the scene right now, I'm sure the other outlets have already gotten their coverage. I wouldn't be able to find anything new to write about. Oh man, we get an animated scene. Oh my god. And so you're just gonna give up? A moment later, Toyama was on the floor, Minorikawa glaring down at him. You've always said you want to tell the world about the things the mass media can't or won't write about, so what the hell difference does it make if they've already gotten the sound bites thereafter? Minorikawa's voice was wrought with emotion. Don't you dare give up, not that easily! Get your ass out there, find something that only you can write about! In front of the daughter. Hana was like, yeah. Hana's... Her respect for her dad is at a very low point. I don't think that this did anything. Minorikawa! Toyama began to object, then he glanced over at Hana. There was an imploring look in her eyes as well. I get what you're saying, Toyama grumbled. But still, you're expecting a lot. But then, despite his words, he flashed a broad grin. Yeah, Minorikawa let out a quiet chuckle. And it's got you all fired up. Yeah, I'm fired up all right. Toyama's face shone with a resolve Minorikawa hadn't seen in a long time. There we go, that's the Toyama I know. You know, I'm really sorry. Now I see the huge burden I put on you, but damn it, it's gonna be alright. Getting to his feet, Toyama took his daughter by the hand and strode boldly out of the cafe, looking like a changed man. Minorikawa watched them go, so glad the dithering was over. Even if Toyama were still in his prime, he'd be cutting it close to do an article in an hour. But he would pull through somehow. When it came to taking care of Hana, the man would rise to the occasion again and again. Father and daughter disappeared into the crowd hand in hand. Minorikawa shook himself out of his reverie. All right, he cried. Despite the clear blue sky, an unexpected gust of wind blew across his cheek. Come on, guys, we gotta get going too. Things might look grim, but he wasn't gonna give up until the bitter end. It was time to head to SOS Hangout, Inferno. It's a great picture. The three ran long and hard after leaving the cafe. The proofing deadline was 7 o'clock, but they needed to finish up with SOS by 6:30 the latest. The gang's hangout was in Harajuku. Running all the way there on foot was going to eat too much of their time. Traffic was at a near standstill for some reason. There wasn't a taxi in sight. How long do you plan on running like this? Katayama called out, panting. Just take a look at the road. With this traffic, there's no point in hailing a cab. Even Minorikawa was feeling the time pressure now. We're just going to have to keep running until the road's clear. What? Katayama wailed. Stop your whining. Just keep quiet and stick with me. He'd finally gotten Toyama to find his willpower again. Next month's issue would come out in time, and no way some printer guy was going to mess it up now. But the traffic showed no signs of abating. Catching a cab wasn't going to be an option. Fighting an ever louder echo of despair, Minorikawa kept on a desperate headlong rush. To rush into something recklessly or heedlessly, not quite the same as being daredevil. Still, there were limits to how far the mind could push the body before exhaustion set in. Ah! No! Chiaki, no! Oh no! As they were running across a pedestrian overpass, Chiaki slipped and took a nasty fall. Her glasses too. Oh, she skinned her knee hard enough to draw blood. Hey you! Hey you! Minorikawa snapped at Katayama. Don't just stand there! No, I'm not talking to you, Google. Help the poor girl already. Katayama scurried over to Chiaki. I'm sorry, Mr. Mino. Chiaki's voice bubbled with suppressed tears. Maybe it was cruel to make her run with her computer all the way to Urarajuku. But the copy for the interviews was still needed to be looked over. They couldn't just leave her here. Minorikawa hesitated, undecided. Even at full run, they wouldn't make it in time, and with traffic the way it was, there was nothing they could do. You now have... Katayama consulted his pocket watch. Exactly 1 hour remaining. Damn it! Minorikawa raged. What do we do? Relentlessly, the clock ticked on. Are we gonna get a bad ending? No, we're getting a to be What do you mean to be continued? The game is supposed to... What do you mean to be continued? There was supposed to be 1 hour left in this game.